My debate will start in 3, 2, 1. Cultural traditions are the shared beliefs, values, and practices that pass down from one generation through other generation in a specific community. It often be custom in several generations as there are some internal or external factors such as internal conflict, external influence from people outside the community, etc. But these customs are only allowed when elders of that community allow it. This makes cultural tradition as identity for the community and bring connection to the people. Cultural traditions give the individual a sense of who they are and connect them to their ancestors. Cultural tradition also brings unity to the community. The same beliefs, values, and practices are being shared, bring the people together and finally creating mutual support. Also, when I say that these cultural traditions can be customed, it can help the people to respond to the modern social, as the tradition itself also evolved over time. One of the examples are traditional dances from some cultures. At first, these dances follow the rule of ancient principles, but over time it evolved following the social principle around them, like a traditional dance from my hometown. At first, the clothing used a traditional cloth called kemben that shows their bare shoulders, but as the society evolves and often cover their shoulders, the attire changed to a jacket-like clothing. This shows that cultural can evolve, and this cultural tradition doesn't make the people outdated, but making the people respond to the modern social while not losing their identity. That's why today I stand with the affirmative team of the motion. This House would prioritize preserving cultural tradition even at the cost of slowing social progress. The main reason I agree with the motion is that youngsters often lack the experience of leading a community. While some of youngsters do have a potential to lead, it often resulting in degradation because their mind is still unstable. Elders have more experience, stable mind, and have the ability to lead. They understand the cultures better, knowing the history of each aspect of the tradition through the details that often youngsters miss, making the passing down event more compact. Meanwhile, if the youngsters are the one who share the history of cultures, it often lack of details and that could cause misleading, making the cultures not entirely from their ancestor. Other reason of why we should preserve cultural tradition is because with that we're making a gap or a wall between us and the white people culture. Youngsters frequently lean towards the Western cultures, making them forget their original cultures. I'm not saying that Westernization is bad, but it often resulting in original cultures dissolving and even disappear, replaced by Western culture. One of the examples is about the traditional attire. The Japanese people has a traditional attire called kebaya. The original kebaya often has front opening that will held together by brush. The material is thin and designed to fit the body. But these days, kebaya got influenced by Western culture and creating a crop top kebaya. This makes the original design of kebaya slowly dissolving and will soon disappear. Also, youngsters these days usually forget or even didn't know about their own culture. They don't know what their traditional attire is, what their traditional ceremony is, and etc. Let's take an example of some of my friends. They can speak another language, such as English and French, but they can form a sentence using a right traditional language of their culture. This means that traditional culture is slowly disappearing and replaced by other cultures. For those reasons, I strongly agree with the motion.